Wait,
Oh,
don't.
no, it already started.
Okay, that's okay. I just I want to do a quick Zoom link with you so I could do a little promo for Silver Linings. So when we're
Oh,
done
okay.
with this, I'm supposed to do it with Sarah. So if she's available, I'll message her real quick. If not, I'll do a separate one with her. So
Okay.
in the meantime, right now, I am promoting for Silver Linings Live next weekend.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm gonna get to see you.
I know. I'm trying to think of fun things. I might take you. I don't. Do you like roller coasters? We could go to Pleasure Pier. Woo woo.
I do, but I also don't have a lot of money. So,
Oh, I know. That's why Pleasure Pier is a good choice because it's on the lower end.
okay.
I like bargains. You know I do. Don't you worry. You can't spend a lot of money with me. You have to
Okay.
order off my menu choices, not yours.
Okay. That's
gonna teach
true.
gonna teach Heather to avoid the a la carte menu and hit up the specials.
My God, I know. I'm gonna have to. I can't afford to do a la carte. I'm like, I want some, because I have weird cravings. I want macaroni and cheese, but then I want buffalo wings, and then I want like a cheeseburger, and then,
Well, I know where all the specials are. Monday is Taco Tuesday, $2 fish tacos. Tuesday's $5 cheeseburgers. I got it all. I got all figured out.
but
We'll
I
be
don't like
fine.
fish. I don't like seafood.
Well, then you'll have to get the breakfast taco.
Okay.
So I tell my kids because I need the fish taco. All right, enough with feeding us. What are we gonna do today? I feel like
Okay.
Phineas and Ferb.
Today we're going to be talking to, I don't know who first, but Daniel, which is a
Uh-huh.
spirit friend of mine,
Hmm.
and Sam's higher self. So for people that don't know about Daniel, that aren't in Stardust group, the story behind that is when I was 15, I got really sick. I think I had the flu, and I was really depressed during that time. So when I got really sick, I didn't even bother to take my medication, anything I needed to do to like help, because I was just like wanting to die at that point. Every day was just like a constant struggle to stay alive. So I thought, well, this is it. Whatever. I didn't give a shit. So my mom wanted to take me to the hospital. I've been sick for 2 weeks and I just kept getting worse. And so my mom's like, in the morning, I'm going to take you to the ER or whatever. And that night, I had this dream that this man, he had dark brown hair, or was it light? I can't remember. This is years ago. But he had the most vivid blue eyes, most memorizing, bright blue eyes I've ever seen. And he wore a white button up shirt, a pair of jeans with a black belt, and he was barefoot. I thought the way he was dressed was a little weird. And he took me into this bathroom, and all that was in the bathroom was this old fashioned looking, like 1920s bathtub. Um, and there was no plumbing, but he turned on a faucet and like the water came out, even though there was like no plumbing of any kind. And he told me to step into the water, and I did, and it was freezing cold. Like it was so vivid, felt like I
Ugh,
was awake.
I hate
And
cold.
I know, me too. And he told me that it has to be cold for you to get rid of your fever. So I eventually stepped into the water, and he had a loofah, and he was like bathing me, like washing me with the water.
Hmm.
And it felt almost sexual, but not exactly. It was like right on the cusp of being like sexual intimacy, but it really wasn't. It was more
Mm-hmm.
innocent than that. I think it was more I was just turned on by him versus him with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had asked him, like, who are you? And he said, my name's Daniel. And he told me, I've known you for a long time. And I was so confused. It felt like he was taking care of me. And I was like, are you like a guardian angel? Are you my guardian angel? And he laughed. He was like, no, I'm not that good. And I don't know what he meant by that. But he told me, um, that I had been like, there's still things I needed to do. Like I couldn't leave Earth. Like I had to stay. And I was really bummed out about hearing that. But then he said that it was time to wake up, and I would wake up and I would feel better. And I didn't want him to go. I was like, who are you? Am I ever going to see you
Yeah.
again? It's like this romantic moment. And I was like
Aw.
reading like tons of romance novels as a teen. So it was just
Mm-hmm.
like, my God, it's my dream guy.
Literally.
Literally. And he told me, you're going to see me soon. I promise, soon. I'm paraphrasing this. I had it all typed out right when I woke up, so I'm just like not saying it word for word right. Anyway, so he told me to wake up, kept saying, wake up, you got to go to school. And so then I woke up and it was like I wasn't even fucking sick. Like the night before, I'd gone to bed thinking I was gonna die and like kind of secretly hoping I would. Anyway, and my mom thought I had sweat through my fever. And we were checking the sheets and there was no sweat. I didn't smell like sweat. It didn't have that weird dry touch the sheets get when sweat dries. It was like, it didn't smell, nothing. It was like I wasn't even sick in the first place. And so my mom was like convinced it was an angel of some kind. And for years I promised I wouldn't date anyone else until I found Daniel. And I never did. I never met a guy named Daniel.
Is he the one that you thought might be Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah, I thought it was Daniel Radcliffe because I had the hugest crush on Daniel Radcliffe. And I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm going to marry Harry Potter.
I know. No, that's not going to happen. I don't know. It could still happen. You don't know, but I doubt it. Anyway, so then my logical mind growing up was thinking, well, because I have a crush on Daniel,
right?
You know, it was just my subconscious. But I mean, even if it was, it's still pretty fucking spectacular that I woke up feeling 100%
No
better.
kidding. That's trippy. We're going to get to the bottom of that. And, you know, that was your idea to find out the Daniel stuff, but it was actually my idea to channel higher self Sam. And the reason I'm like keen to do that is because we learned from Minerva that he is not part of Minerva's posse. And you know, that's my thing. I want to find out all the connections and stuff. And I know at the beginning that they kind of dumbed it down for us when they put this galactic family off to the side, because we weren't ready to hear how we are connected to them. So what Minerva told us was that Sam, just higher self Sam, I don't know how he connected with you originally, but once he did, he wasn't ever going to leave. So we're stuck with this guy forever. But I want to understand that because that's my passion. And the thing I was going to spring on you was that one day I want to do the same thing for Avery. I want to channel higher self Avery because he is part of Minerva. Okay. And Fairy Girl said to me, well, I'm not going to tell you now. You'll have to find out on your own. Because I said, is he a fairy? And she says, no, he's an elf. So I want to figure out which one of M6 is the elf. And it's not you, me, or Michael. So it's going to be one of the other three. I'm anxious to find that out. But I'm really anxious to find out about how Sam just came and adopted us.
Also, reason why is that Sam is convinced that he's Daniel, that Daniel is a soul aspect of him. And I really think, I'm not 100% convinced. I just think Sam wants it to be him, you know, because of how romantic it is. And I haven't met a Daniel, but Sam has really vivid and mesmerizing blue eyes. He's like, it's the same person. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But okay.
Well, we're going to find out. It's a reasonable possibility.
It is. Okay. Well, I don't know who we want to bring in. I think Sam's higher self is pretty dead set on coming in. And what's interesting also is that the Sarsar don't believe you can trance channel your higher self. So so if they're watching this, they'd be like, this is some bullshit. You know?
I know. This is going to be an interesting one.
Okay. All right.
See you later.
It might take me a second because we're talking and I got excited, so I gotta.
All right.
So it might take me a minute. She's way too nervous.
Hi, higher self, Sam.
Must come up with a different name.
Yeah, let's.
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. Okay. All right. So how are you?
As well as a spirit can be, which is joyous.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. That's true, huh? All right. Well, you heard our little intro, so I'm going to go first because I really want to know how you glommed onto us. I want to know how you found it. higher self, Heather, energetically, and how all that stuff happened.
Although spirits do not have a birth date, you can
Right.
think of me as a fairly new piece of energy that just split itself from source.
Okay.
Don't take that literally, but that's the best way to describe it. I felt
Okay.
fresh. The energy was fresh. And I had yet to live a lifetime, and I took most of my time studying other lifetimes from other people and watching over them. And there was one that, to me, burned the brightest, and that was one of Heather's lifetimes. She was not human. She was living on another planet in another galaxy. And what she was doing there was like leading a revolt among the people, seen as a revolutionary leader. And that to me just sang so much bravery, and her heart was pure in her actions. Sometimes when leaders spring up, their intentions were good at first, and then they eventually turn to more selfish reasonings for why
Yeah.
they pursue their goals. But hers had always stayed true, and she was always so hard on herself mentally. I found that very interesting, and I learned a lot from studying that lifetime about ego. And when she came back, I didn't want to converse with her higher self because during that time, much don't know this, the higher self is very busy trying to coordinate in other lifetimes, especially if it's a big part of their lifetime. There's a lot of energy going on. It could just be a lot of events that could be either very traumatic or very exciting, or a lot of change happening all at once. That takes a lot of our energy to participate in. And I rather have spoken to her when her energy was much more thick. Perhaps thick is not the best word to use. More
Less
whole.
stretched out over
Yes,
many
more
things.
whole.
Okay.
More whole, less
Okay.
stretched out.
Okay.
And when I did, I just fell in love with her, who she was, her soul itself. And I decided to, as you put it, glom onto her, which I very much did. And there was no one else I'd rather have wanted to be with. There's no one else I admired more than who she was. And even now, still, as Samuel, I still have that intense admiration for her thought and her mind. But now I see it from a different perspective, because now that I too am alive, I'm seeing the mental instability that can come from always questioning your motives. Everything she does, she's always second guesses herself, and it's as though she's trying to ask herself what she truly wants and why she's truly doing this from a psychological standpoint. Where is this coming from subconsciously? And to the point that she's nitpicking every little thing she does. I don't know what lesson she's learning from that. That's not my lesson to learn, but she seems to enjoy it quite a lot, because it helps her to understand the human psychology by nitpicking at her own self.
So were you, okay, I'm going to use the same word you did, even though it's incorrect. Were you born without your own like little collective? Are you like a single energy?
We're never a single energy. We're all technically part of the same soul group. But
Okay.
I don't want to use your definition of it, because
Okay.
let me explain how your process of Minerva works.
Thank you.
Minerva is, think of her as a soul, much like myself, that split off from source. We're
Okay.
still always connected. There's like a stretch of line that connects you two together, a tethered, a rope that ties you to them. But Minerva wanted to experience different lifetimes all at the same time, sometimes, and that's what I mean by stretching yourself out.
Okay.
So you are a stretch of Minerva, experiencing life. But then as more lifetimes are produced, its own tiny collective within its stretched out points begins to develop, and that stretches out. So then you have the higher selves of the oversoul, which is your fairy girl,
Hmm.
And then there's you experiencing through Fairy Girl. It gets complicated, but altogether, everything's always connected. So even though you are connected to Minerva, you too are connected to everyone else that is.
Okay. This is my passion. Hang on, I'm a little feely. How many times have you incarnated with Heather?
Many times, too many to count. I don't keep count. It's ever ongoing. Millions of
And
times.
and do you feel like a kinship to the other members of M6 because of her? And I
I
say
do.
this because of your friendship with Avery. How
I
did
do.
that come to be?
Avery's this time around, he and I have developed a special bond on the other side. And he's teaching me a lot through my observation of him and him being a complete opposite of me. We sometimes clash, but I'm speaking not in a spirit sense do our higher selves clash, but
Right.
our physical selves do.
It's true. You guys are very different, and I love that you're still friends though. I love that part.
It's me learning to be okay with someone who's different than me.
Hmm.
That's my
Um,
lesson.
um, Let me go ahead and move on into the Daniel thing. I'm dying to hear this story. I know Heather is too. Lay it on us. Is there a connection?
Somewhat. I'm not exactly Daniel, although
Okay.
technically we're all the same soul.
Yes.
So in that way, yes, I am Daniel. But Daniel is an entirely different soul who is a connection of someone within your soul group.
Okay. Oh, that sounds like another mystery I have to solve. Will the higher selves let you tell me or no?
She has many soulmates. He is one of many.
Okay. You're not gonna
Romantic
give
soulmates.
you're not gonna give that up, are you?
No, he's
Okay.
not a direct line from any of the Minerva's higher selves, mini higher selves. Could
Ah,
tell them.
okay.
Miniature
Is it
higher selves.
so is it like a fractal of one of the higher selves or something? Kind of like that?
No, he's his
Oh.
own Minerva.
Oh my gosh, you just blew my mind. I don't even know what that means. He's his own Minerva.
He's his own oversoul, is what I meant.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Huh.
connected to Minerva.
Like Moshu is? You're not gonna be able to untangle this for me. I
I
understand
need a
that
piece of paper.
I know. Like a 3D piece of paper that will go in all directions. It's tangly. And while I love that it's my passion, I feel like I will never be able to solve all the mysteries while here because I don't think my brain can wrap around it all.
To put it simply, you're all connected. It doesn't matter how. It's just that you are.
Well, it doesn't matter to them, but I like knowing. And it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's just something that I like to, it makes me feel good to understand it. Like a hobby. All right. I'm going to ask the questions that the Stardust members asked, and I want you to also feel free to volunteer any information that I don't think of. Okay, this is from Mina. And oh, well, this is a question about Daniel, but you'll know the answer probably.
Perhaps we should bring in Daniel instead. I don't have much to add other than the relationship I had with Heather.
Do you mean like switch trances or you're just going to
Yes.
talk to him?
Switch
Okay, well,
trances.
wait. I don't want you to go yet. I want to
Okay.
see if I have any other questions for you. Hang on. Let me see. Is this a Sam one? That's a Daniel one too. All right, I don't have any right now. Damn it, because I just feel like you got so much information in there, and I just want to pull it all out, but I don't know what to ask. All right, let's switch to Daniel then. Maybe I'll have you come back. I don't know. Do you have a message for Heather or any of the Stardusters?
Mm, that it's. I'm excited. This is fun. The idea of Stardust, not Stardust itself, but the people involved with the species that I'm currently incarnated as.
Do you like being a sorcerer?
I do. It's an interesting one. Rather easy, uh,
Have you
but
been human
complicated.
before?
I have. It's a complicated
And were
life.
you with Heather? Was that a
Yes,
relationship?
I'm only
Oh,
ever
you
with
just
her.
froze on me. Shit.
Can you hear me
Oh, wait,
now?
we're back. We're back. Woo. Okay. Did you have a relationship with Heather when you were a human?
Yes, every time. I'm only ever with her. I don't want to be with anyone else.
God, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. I asked if
But
I had one of those and they said yes. Do you know if I do? Is that how Margello is? Do you know?
mm, he has other lovers in other lifetimes. There is a soul that only chooses to be with you when he chooses to incarnate and take on a lover, or she, depending on the gender they choose to be.
Are you allowed to tell me?
It's someone you have not met, because this person, if this person were to be here now, they would want to be with you.
Oh, so are they not incarnated? Or
Correct.
just haven't? Oh, okay. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, okay.
Because there are certain, and for that there is no specific reasons. I know from a human aspect you want to make it feel as though you're special,
Yeah.
and I suppose you can think of it as though you are truly special. And but to spirit there is no possessiveness, there is no being bound to another soul. You can choose to stay with someone, but at any time that rule can always change. So for myself, I can always choose to change it. But the
Well,
soul
that's what's
of Heather is very, I guess you could say, advanced. But although it's not truly advanced, there are no true advancements or those who are less advanced than other souls. But there's still so much for me to gain and so much to learn from her soul that for now, there's no one else I would rather be with, because there's no one else that could ever fulfill the need that my soul needs
mm,
for those lessons and that those experiences I would love to have. She's quite the shapeshifter. She can change into anything and be anything that she needs to be. And for that, it's a thousand and one deal versus going to many different souls and asking them to fulfill something for me. I have a, a good one right here that can do it all.
your one-stop shop.
Yes, my one-stop shop. So why? And I'm still a fairly young soul in comparison to how many.
Uh-huh.
And why I mean by young is that I haven't lived quite as many lifetimes. So in that
Okay.
sense, I'm rather young. Although technically we're all this. There is no age. We're all the same.
Right.
There's so
Ah,
much I could gain from her that I just would not find it uh, logical to go anywhere else.
okay. And I understand what you mean about not being bound to one, but that it's a choice that you choose to stay with them is what feels special to me. And I'm sure other species feel that same way when we're incarnated, but I understand on the flip side there it's anything. I get it. Um, oh, I had thought of another question. Oh, can you tell us a little bit about the species that she was in which you found her, the one that kind of mesmerized you a little bit, that planet and that species?
Well, she was a man, and that
Okay.
one a male gender, and the people of that time were being slaves to almost similar to currency, to what's happening in your
Okay.
now. They had to, but their way of currency was jobs. They had to work in order to be given compensation, in order to be
Okay.
given the need, the basic needs for their
Mm-hmm.
survival. And there were jobs that were not, they were hard labor.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't fair. They weren't based off of someone's work ethic and their skills. They were just based off of what kind of family you came from and your background. So if you lived in a certain, let's call it a neighborhood,
Okay.
you were automatically told to clean the toilets for the rest of your life.
Mm.
And just because of where you came from, you couldn't earn a better position to work for.
Mm.
And so it was a form of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
And so they revolted up against that. The man that she was married, their version of marriage, to a woman who ended up dying during one of the revolts that they were
Okay.
doing. And that really is what pushed him to become less diplomatic about their approach and more assertive. Not
Oh my God.
exactly violent, but was just done trying to play nicely about it and go through all the bureaucracy that was involved. It was now, okay, everyone, we're going to gather up and going to revolt. No one goes to work anymore. No
You
one
know
go to
what?
work.
She's kind of going through that a little bit right now, in that she's like done being a nice guy and she's going to be more assertive. That's so interesting. Do you think that's a direct connection right there, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily.
Okay. So what was this? What did they look like? Do they look like people? Humans?
No, no, very different than humans, although they are bipedal.
Mhm.
But they had rather large heads and they were blue in color. And they had 3 fingers, from what I could tell. They're very slender, thin bodies. And the way that their skin was structured is that it was almost like tight leather against bone. There was hardly
Ooh.
any muscle or fat.
Huh.
So they look rather appalling to look at from a human standpoint.
It's a good thing you guys are attracted to energy. Well, let me ask you that again. I've asked a few times before, but how is it that the Sarsar, you and your Sarsar, I almost said human form, Sarsar form, why are you attracted to a human physically?
It's not the physicality of the human itself, it's their soul within.
Okay.
And then, whereas humans fall in love with the body first, personality second, ours is personality first, and from then on, we find the body attractive.
Okay. So you do get there. Okay. All right. I think I got some good stuff out of you. All right, let's pass the body on to Daniel. Sounds funny.
Just a doll.
Well, wait,
mannequin.
I have one more question for you. I'm too shy to ask Sam this, but I'll ask you.
I'm
Do
not
you know
Sam, so you can ask me. Oh, I am, but
you're sort of Sam? Do you know why Sam and I, or at least me, why we're awkward with each other? I
I
feel
do not think
intimidated
you are
by
quite
him.
awkward with one another. I think it is you that feels as though you'll have to be a certain way around him,
I
around
do.
me, and that he will not accept you. I do come off very judgmental, and I am, but I keep my thoughts to myself.
Yeah, well, I want to ask your thoughts now that your Earth self isn't here. So, higher self Sammy J, do you not like me?
I like you. Although there are some things that I find questionable in nature.
I know you're protective of Avery. I feel like that's kind of
That is
part of
what it
it.
is my
Okay. And I
friendship.
appreciate that. I absolutely appreciate that. But I think from your higher self perspective, you get it. But I
I
think,
do.
yeah,
I do not
that's
judge you from here, although he may say
right.
something else.
And that's okay. I understand it. And I wish it weren't the case, but I
But
totally,
he does love and appreciate you for your love for his wife.
yeah, that's good. That's what should matter. And I understand he's being protective of his friend. And that's very sweet too. All right. On to Daniel. For reals this time.
It feels weird.
I didn't know you were coming back. I thought we were going straight over to
Well, no,
Daniel.
I gotta bring him in. I gotta rope him in. You know? Give me a second.
Okay. Look at Sammy. He made me cry.
I guess he said some mean things. I kind of remember, kind of don't. I was so freaked out that I can't trance chant. It's been a minute. And I'm like, I'm not that good. I'm out of practice. I'm a little rusty.
I'm going to use my camera for a mirror because I think I might have makeup everywhere.
Daniel. Okay. He is so, ooh, he feels nice. Okay.
I can't wait for this one.
I wonder what he's going to be like. He's kind of a gentleman. Okay. Can you ask him if I met him or if he's someone else that I had met?
I'm going to get the full scoop.
Okay.
I want to know everything about Harry Potter. Just kidding.
That's right. Harry Potter.
Hi, Daniel.
Hello there. Give me 1 minute.
Go on, wiggle in.
I'm very excited. I haven't done this before.
Really?
Happened pretty quickly.
You haven't come in Heather's body yet?
It's nice.
Are you checking out the tools?
No. Okay. I will be a gentleman.
Oh, whatever. Daniel, okay, so hi. Do you know me? Do you know me?
Yes.
Really?
Indirectly, but I know you. I know who you are.
Okay.
I do like
It's
you.
so interesting to see the switch from one higher self to another, just the personality. God, that's weird. Okay, so tell us the story. Let's start when she was 15. Let's start there, I guess.
Well, at the time, I was just one of her guides, and she was in desperate need of some help. Obviously, she just wanted to die, and we couldn't let that happen. There's so much she needed to be doing. She didn't even realize she needed to be doing, and she just couldn't see the bigger picture. She was just stuck. And so what we needed to do is give her something to hope for. And I decided to go in because she and I do have a past life together where we were married and very much in love. And so I decided to really show up as that form.
Okay.
That Daniel that she could recognize me as. And I went in there and did what I needed to do. Wanted to give her a sense of hope. Something to glom onto. She needed something to keep her going. And that dream, that idea of me, idea of a Daniel, of a true love coming, was enough to keep her going every single day. And in a sense, it was a lie, but it wasn't, because there was something that came for her. It wasn't exactly me, but it was what she needed. And we do
one of those half-truths.
Yes, we do the things we have to do for the people we love. And nothing else was going to work. We had been trying for years with her. Her depression had been going on for so long. We've tried everything and nothing was working. So it's last-ditch effort. And it seemed to have done the ticket, because it would have been terrible had she gone through with it.
I know it. God, she would have fucked everybody's shit up. Thank you.
You're welcome. Took one for the team.
And did you? So she was sick, and you did heal her, or
I did. I had to. She was gonna let herself die. So we don't normally do that kind of stepping in. That was way too much. In my opinion, it was too much. I don't want to say control over it, but exercising our power too much. We don't like to interfere in things like that, because that's such a dramatic change for being completely sick one moment, and the next moment when you wake up, you're all of a sudden all the better. But we had no other choice. She wasn't going to take care of herself, so we had to interfere.
You know what? That reminds me of when I was in the middle of my deep fucked up shit, and how many times, even though I knew life would get better, I was in such distress that I was like, I can't wait for that. I got off myself now. But when I would tell this story later, the higher selves and guides would always say we would never let that happen. And I took a lot of comfort from that. And I share that story with others that are at in such an ugly place in their evolution. So it's like, so when you hear that saying that God will only give you as much as you can handle, that's kind of true. They won't let you if you're meant to be here.
And so people may be wondering that are watching this, like, you're interfering. Why can't you help me get over my illness? Well, maybe because you're contracted to have it. Or, they're saying, well, what about my so-and-so cousin who offed himself and they didn't help? Well, maybe they're contracted to do that. Or
that's a good point.
And it's almost like, well, why don't you interfere more like that if something goes wrong in my life? Well, you have to look at the bigger picture here. Is what you're going through really gonna, if it's not going to dramatically change the life path you're on, then there's no reason why we would. And no, we don't, there is no right or wrong path, and that us interfering, I guess, insinuates that there is, but there really isn't. Because we know that deep down, you could say the deep down or the higher self version of her asked us to interfere, so she had asked us to.
Okay.
We didn't just decide to do that. So when we interfere for you is because you had asked us to.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that, because that is one of my teachings, is that that I was taught that everything that happens to us, we either chose for or agreed to it because somebody else wanted our help or whatever it is. So there's no victim here.
No.
And just let's go ahead and
just you beating yourself up.
That's right. We're pretty good at that sometimes, aren't we? But I want to point out about our friend Eric. If he didn't kill himself, then none of this shit would be happening. So it absolutely was in his contract to bring us together the way he did.
He's a cool cat.
Tell me about your relationship and connection with Eric.
Not very close, although when he does come along, we do get along. I'm no longer Heather's guide. I've moved on. She doesn't need me anymore, so that's why I'm not around. But every once in a while, she'll think about me and want to get freaky, and I'm down.
Yes, I was gonna ask that. Okay, so how did you come across her? How did you meet her? Let's hear your story and your life together, and some fun stuff.
So you have your Minerva, right? Well, within the Minerva, she has her own soul family, her soul group. Me, I'm within that soul family, that soul group. So I know Minerva, and so that's how I know her.
Okay.
It's not not as direct as you were hoping, but somewhere around there.
So we're all buddies then.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask the questions from the Stardust group, and then we'll see if that segues into more conversation. I like you. I just like your mannerisms and stuff. Have we been friends somewhere before? Like friends?
Not in this lifetime, but we have been friends before.
Okay. Maybe you'll give me a nugget on one of those. Okay, so Mina wants to know, I wonder what is the job, in quotes, or why do the spirits decide to be around us in this way, like Daniel, while they are not guides? Is it romance, relationship, friendship? Are they ourselves, and how can we connect with them better? Well, you kind of explained that one, why you came to help her.
Right. And not always does it have to be a guide, because you may have a different definition of what a guide is. So it could be like a spirit friend coming through for emotional support, some guidance that you're needing in that moment, and we're able to give it to you real quick. Like all your other guides are like, we don't know how to help her or him, and who can we help the most? So who can help this person? So they'll bring in someone they know, and then this person will be like, hey, I know what to do.
That's interesting to me, because I feel like, I'm still learning, but I feel like you guys all have access to all the information and know it all. I know that's not true, but to hear that the team doesn't know how to help her and they call in somebody else that might, that's
not
interesting.
That they don't know. It's just that what they're doing isn't working, and they're just, we don't know why it's not working. We don't know everything automatically. Mm-hmm. Although when we're talking about the process of don't knowing, it takes an instant.
To know it.
Like it takes months of preparation. This is pretty quickly decided.
Interesting. How can people connect better with these friendships?
Well, it depends on the person. That's a hard one to answer, because first, if you're already you need to get over your own thought process that you can't connect. Mm-hmm. And if you have that doubt, that's going to be hard to get over. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing. So if you're struggling with that, that's step number one. Right there. Dos is you gotta meditate. You got to be able to clear your mind. Meditation is really just about clearing the head and allowing in the information, because your thoughts are just all over the fucking place. So then when we come in, it gets lost in the jumble mess. It's like a traffic jam in your brain, and we get stuck on the highway on our way to your consciousness. So that's why you meditate, is to clear that mind so the messages come in much more clear. Then you got to work on being able to get better at hearing. So the meditation thing will really help with that, but also just working on your vibration. And by vibration, I mean being more positive. When you are, just letting yourself, flow through your emotions faster, letting go faster, things like that, working on yourself, because learning to channel is really about working on yourself. So that's how you're going to better connect, is by working on you and getting over yourself.
Okay, your inner work bullshit.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay, let's see here. Gail wants to know if all humans have somebody like you in your lives, and do they only come in crucial times?
Yeah, you could say that. So there's some people who have like the romantic relationships with spirits,
Mm-hmm.
and so many of them, they're just really caught up in the romantic part of it. And for a spirit, we're not really learning much. We can, but we're mostly, it's not learning like how you would as a human would learn through experiences. We're mostly learning just from observation.
Okay.
And because this is just from spirits I've spoken to that have had these kinds of relationships.
Okay.
Me, I just come in for the fun and then I leave.
My kind of guy.
But mostly it's that individual, the human going through it. They're learning the most. They're growing the most from that relationship. And so in a way, they're a form of a guide. So many people that have romantic relationships with spirits, it's really a guide. Doesn't mean that it's a false relationship. Doesn't mean there's no love or romance for real. It's just that that's how you're best learning. And it's mostly self-love. Learning self-love through loving something else. And them constantly feeding you love to you. That's hard to accept yourself. It's even harder to accept yourself when you see someone like totally just worshiping you, loving you, and you're like, I don't deserve this. I don't get how you can love me so damn much. That's a way of learning self-love. So a lot of people get those relationships to learn that.
Yes. Voltaire said that learning to love yourself through loving another is one of the hardest ways to find it. I am an expert. Oh, that makes me cry. Okay, here's another question.
I should take a shot every time I get you to cry.
Get hammered. How useful is it that we have a conscious relationship with our higher self?
I think it would help with you understanding how things truly work on the other side and knowing that nothing's out of your control. That's also, there's a fine line between knowing that you're in control, but also the balance of you needing to be in control, that unhealthy version of it, where you have to like have everything go your way, because there's connecting to that higher self helps you find that healthy balance between, I know I decide everything, and letting go and letting the universe take you where you want to go. If that's what you say it is, the universe taking you, or the wind, or whatever.
Right.
So connecting to that higher self is beneficial in that way. It helps you find that fine balance, and it makes manifesting a lot faster as a result. Another good thing is just being able to feel like you have some kind of grasp on where you're headed in your life. For humans, they have trouble with control and letting go. Connecting with the higher self and talking to them and knowing that they're you is helping you to feel like you're consciously making decisions about your life path and where it's headed, versus some kind of invisible force doing it for you. So it's more of like an illusion that you're getting rid of that illusion, the facade that you have no real control over your life path, because no one and nothing else can destroy that path for you or change it other than you.
Right.
So, things may come at you, and you may take like a little swerve, kind of like a car turning into your lane, and you got to move off to the side. Those might happen, but you're always going to go right back into the same lane and keep going in your direction.
Let's talk about that a little bit more, because about control, and I get what you mean about two different versions of control, because you do want to have like active control of your life and guide yourself where you want to go, but at the same time, that control thing is, that's another thing I preach about, is the surrender. Give up the control that the external things have on you in your disposition or mood or whatever.
So how about this? Think of it like this, where you know where you want to go. You have control over where you want to go. Sometimes shit gets thrown at you. You get thrown curveballs. That's when you let go and trust in your own power, in yourself, that you're still going to head down the path you want to go to, and nothing else can stop you from it. Let go and trust in your guides, your angels, the spirit realm, the universe, whatever it is that you want to put a name to. Trust it and let go that it's going to guide you back onto the path, because your higher self, you can put it on your higher self, won't let you go anywhere else. You won't let you go anywhere else. So it's like a perfect balance between the two. I don't know if that helped clarify anything or just made it worse.
Well, I think it just gets confusing to people when you're like, take charge of your life. You have free will. And then they say, give up control. It's
Giving
the
up
same.
control doesn't mean to give up on your
Right.
path. It means, let's just take the word control out of it. Let's just associate a different name to a different terminology, because the idea of control, we're just getting stuck on that word, and it's a human word, and it's limiting. Let's just say that you have a decision. Say you want to go to McDonald's, right? That's where you want to go. That's your life path. Okay? McDonald's. And
so ambitious.
Very ambitious. Very hard. It's very difficult. Bravery is what it takes to get to McDonald's. So you want to go to McDonald's, right? So you have the control to get up off the couch, go out the front door, and continue walking, right? That's within your grasp. That's what you're doing.
Right.
But then along the way, say there's a car that's just like went crazy, drunk driver goes onto the sidewalk, almost hits you, right? Now he's blocking that sidewalk. Some people in their life will just sit there and be like, well, this is so out of my control. What did I do? This is off my path. The victim thing going on. And when instead they could have just climbed over some people will choose to climb over the car, which would have been so much harder than to just walk around the car. So
but there's no wrong path.
Right, but you're still getting onto that path again.
Right.
So you had that 3 options. You either sit there and be a wimp about it, or you can crawl over the car, which is harder. Humans tend to choose the harder part, or you can just go around. So again, you still have control. Things are still happening, but you're letting go enough that you know that, hey, because when you have that control issue, you're going to be sitting there having that victim mentality. Because so
and I want to.
You let go enough, you'll be able to find the solution. It's almost like you're blocking that. The answer's so simple, but you're just thinking too hard about it.
That is so it. And I'm going to go back, because not everybody that watches Stardust watches my show, and that's okay. But when I was like in such turmoil, great-great-grandpa Cayetano told me that your answer will come to you. And when I just gave up trying to control my future and come up with a reasonable solution, I gave up. I'm like, I just can't do it, whatever it is before. Right. I gave up, and then the answer fell right into me. So I love that. I surrendered that control that my situation had over me. And I felt like I was trying to be proactive in trying to guide my life. But the truth is that I was just holding on for dear life with control, and it did not serve me.
Right. So it's not really about control. You should put a different name to it. Just a knowing. You could say that. Knowing you'll get where you are going to go. Knowing that such a shit may happen, but knowing that you'll have enough common sense and enough thought process and willpower to work around whatever obstacles come your way. So instead of saying I got control, just say I got a knowing.
Yes, I get that too. I'm kind of in a place of that myself right now, and my future is, I felt a little uncomfortable about it, but I have such trust and such faith that I have arranged for myself to have a great life that I'm going to roll with it and have a knowing that it will, favor me. So I like
that. Some good shit right there.
Thanks. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
All right. So Daniel, what else do you want to share with us? Anything else about you and H?
No, there's not much to tell with her.
She's so interesting. I know we're not supposed to compare ourselves, but she's just so fucking out there. All these ETs and shit, and I like to make things all about me. Do I have like a comparable soul history?
I think you're just comparing yourself. Yeah, we all have some crazy shit going on. Stop comparing your craziness to her craziness. You got your own unique flavor.
All right. And it's not necessarily like I'm comparing better or worse. It's just a frame of reference, thinking wow, she got some shit. I must too. I just must.
You just don't see it. It seems so normal to you. Whereas her shit seems normal to her too.
I remembered a question I was supposed to ask Higher Self Sam, but I'm going to ask you. I
What?
want you to dip into that pool of information. Um, so I don't even know if I'm supposed to ask, but I'm going to. I believe she thinks that she was, King Albert? Is
Oh,
that the right
oh,
king?
Prince? No, Prince
Prince,
Albert.
help
That
me.
motherfucker. Yeah.
She-
Yeah, she was Prince Albert.
So was Sam incarnate in that life? Was he the no? Was
No,
I the hooker?
no, no. Although you wish, I wish too. No. The wife was someone else from within the soul group of Minerva.
Hell.
You haven't met her. She's not
Okay.
here.
Gosh.
Because, okay, so that whole love affair they have going on is always really fucking intense whenever they get together. So,
Which two? You mean H and
Albert and Victoria when they get together.
Oh, those two. Oh my gosh. So Victoria's one of our posse too?
Yeah. In there.
Fuck.
Somewhere in there.
I can't wait to learn this stuff. They just give me little itty bits and pieces.
I'll give you a little nugget. There
Yes,
you go. There's
full
your
of
nugget.
Oh, is that it?
Well, you
give
want
me
more?
more.
I'm gonna give it away. All right. So she's more connected to Voltaire than she is anyone else. So Voltaire's still within Minerva, but Voltaire's his own little, I guess,
Okay.
oversoul. I forget. This is confusing.
It is confusing. Well, she did mention Voltaire. She like made the only connection with the letter V. So she thought maybe Voltaire was Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
We solved the mystery. Thank you. So cool. I love this shit. Okay, so was I there too?
Mm-mm. No, not like you were there around that time, but you never like directly.
Was I a peasant? What was I doing?
You were. What were you doing? I'm trying to pull in that. It's like I like to imagine it's pulling off a book off a shelf, trying to look for the right book. You were doing this thing where you were sleeping with a bunch of guys.
Did that again?
Married. You were married. The one that you're stuck on right now.
Really?
Yeah, that was what was going on with you.
I love him. Okay, one more nugget. Share, and it doesn't have to be a romantic one, but share how I know you in some way.
Let's see. What would be another lifetime that would be fun? I was a mutual friend of yours, so you were best friends with my sister, and I was her brother. So I think that's
right.
the closest one, but
Okay.
we had a unspoken like attraction. We never acted on it, but we'd always flirt.
Oh. Hi, big boy. Okay, and I know I said that was the last nugget, but I meant that's the last nugget for me. Do you want to share one more with Heather?
No, she's hungry, so I'm annoyed. I'm gonna go.
Okay. Oh no, he's hangry. Well, Daniel, it's so nice to meet you, and thank you for sharing all that information and helping us understand a little bit more about control and giving up control and helping Heather to put that piece of her history into place. Pull that book out.
Yep, and put it back in.
All right, stick it back in, and I'll talk to you another day.
All right.
All right. Bye. Daniel's funny. I like Daniel.
Oh, I like him too.
So, I know you don't always remember it, but I know that as soon as I say it, it triggers you. But you were absolutely right. Voltaire was Queen Victoria. You nailed it.
I knew it because I thought, they were so in love, and I'm thinking, who was I super in love with? There's only a few, and I was thinking Sam, but I was like, no, doesn't feel right.
You know what? I just had a theory. I'm all on that. I asked for a nugget if I was alive in that time too, and he said that I was married and I slept around a lot. I was really hoary, and I was like glommed onto the same one I'm glommed onto right now. Maybe it was that one that Fairy Girl told me about that day. I know I'm confusing everybody, and my own gears are just turning. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure that out. It's such an interesting story. So in the future on Silver Linings, I'm going to talk about that life that I think that Daniel mentioned.
Okay.
So I want people to put a little pin on that memory. And then Daniel, he was like, I got to go, man. She's hungry.
I am.
And that was such a fun one for me. I felt another one. I felt like it was all for me, even though I got some information for you. I just love that soul stuff. So I feel like I got a big treat today.
I think why I wanted to talk mostly to Sam because I feel like we haven't brought back in the Sarsar in a minute. So it went in a totally different direction than I was wanting it to, but I guess it went where it needed to go.
I guess so.
Okay.
You'll have to write down your questions. I did ask him if he liked being a Sarsar, and he said, yeah, it's pretty easy. I guess it's us, we humans, that take on the big fucked up challenges.
I think maybe next time we could talk to a Sarsar shaman.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got to do a higher self Avery, too. Curious about that. Ooh. All right.
Okay.
Do you have anything you need to promote, like your book?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have the book cover.
Go get it.
It's right here. Oh.
Don't tell yourself, but I haven't bought it yet. Okay,
I'm
go.
I'm going to hide my name. Like it matters. Everyone already knows who I am. So that's the cover.
Oh, is there a picture of you inside or on the back?
No, there isn't. That's okay. I want to smell it. Okay, so it's a book that was published through a small publishing company. It's a local company, so it's not super fancy, but we worked really hard on it. We didn't have money for all the fancy editing or anything, and so I think I did good. At least I hope so. I had a nightmare that someone wrote a really terrible review on it, but they were just talking about how bad of a person I am, not really about the book. Anyway, but I want to sell physical copies, signed copies. I'll be doing that on my author website, not on my mediumship website.
Bring some with you to Texas if you can fit it.
I only have 4 copies. I only have 4. I don't have...
Bring them and sell them. You could buy more, can't you?
No, I have to wait for the editor to give me more. But we only get, again, because it's a small publishing company, we only get more if we sell more. And, he's the only one that has access to being able to buy the physical copies that he shipped to me. Mm-hmm. So I just have to live at his mercy, I guess. So right. I only have 4 copies, physical copies, to sell to people.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'll be able to bring any with me.
All right. Well, I'm still gonna buy mine, and one day I'm sure I'll see you again.
Oh, also, I am doing readings for November because, it's mostly Thanksgiving break, and I don't get paid for holidays as a substitute
And you're coming
teacher.
to my house for a week too. That's 2 weeks off.
Yeah. So okay. I need to make that moolah and pay my bills.
All right. I need some money too. You guys need some sparkles? You hit me up.
All right.
I know we're both kind of feeling the financial crunch, and we decided that it was the higher selves propelling us to move forward with our careers. Eee!
Ugh. God.
All right, sissy pants. Let's hang up, but don't go away yet. I mean, in the video, but don't go away yet.
Okay.
Okay. I love you.
I love you too.
See you soon.
Yeah.